Joining us now, Republican strategist and former communications director for the RNC, Doug Heye. So, Doug, let me turn things to the left a little. Let me talk about abortion. What we saw in Alabama yesterday was a special election for a state house seat where a woman ran against a Republican on the issue of IVF. A Democrat ran against a Republican, and she won by something of a landslide. The same seat that she lost to the same person a couple years ago. Does that special election, can you project it out, or again, is this just a one-off?
This should be cause for concern for Republicans. But one thing that we do in every special election, Katie, the Republicans do it, the Democrats do it, I've certainly done it, is when there's a special election, if it's a good result for you, you overplay it. If it's a bad result for you, you underplay it and says, this isn't going to have that much impact. The short answer is we don't really know at this point. Republicans should be concerned and should learn from this, but it doesn't tell us anything yet about what's going to happen in November.
All right, so what are you watching?
What I'm watching for is some of what we're going to see today. How does the issue of crime and issues surrounding that play out? I was looking at polling today that was very issue specific, and what I saw in it was on so many issues, and those issues that voters are saying are number 1, 2, and 3 for them, that Donald Trump is massively ahead of Joe Biden in. And what are those? The economy, crime, that's today's issue, obviously, and the border, which touches on that as well, as David referenced. I think the Democrats are going to have a good day today for raising money, but beyond that, yeah, Barack Obama can be helpful, but on the margins. And given everything that our conversation about Donald Trump is just this week and over the past few weeks and the future weeks, I doubt we'll see Bill Clinton as somebody out there rebutting Donald Trump and his message a whole lot on the campaign trail.
This is a big money gap, though. If he's going to raise $25 million here, we've already seen in the financial disclosures that the Biden team, the DNC, is vastly outraising Donald Trump. Donald Trump's money is going to his legal fees. I mean, a lot of the campaign fundraising done by the super PACs is going straight to paying off his legal bills. Does the money matter?
It matters. What we don't know yet is how much it matters, because as David said earlier, Hillary Clinton had a big advantage. I've worked in races where we've had less money in won and more money in lost. You want to be in that advantageous situation. And certainly, I think the Republicans know that they have trouble right now, the RNC, getting that money into key critical states, other than North Carolina, where the new chairman and co-chair are from. If you're from Michigan, especially, Pete Huckstra, former member of Congress, who's now the state party chair for the Republicans in Michigan, is saying, I don't have what I need. That's a problem for Republicans moving forward. And we spent a lot of this week, Katie, talking about Donald Trump and what questions are being asked in the interview process at the RNC. And this is where Donald Trump is very skillful. He's a matador. He's El Huli, waving a red cape and making sure that the media follows with this. The story about the funding and the lack of funding that's getting to states, that's a much more important story when it comes for what's going to happen in campaign 2024.
What about what might happen down ballot? I mean, there's this assumption that Democrats are in for a really tough time in the Senate. The House, maybe not so much. But, candidate quality was an issue of Mitch McConnell. Are you seeing indications that candidate quality might be an issue for the Republicans again?
Well, I'm from North Carolina, so yes, it's the short answer. I look at Mark Robinson, who could win, but is a real problem up ballot for Donald Trump.
Well,
I see Michelle
why.
Morrow. Well, because of the extreme comments that he's made over the years. Most recently, we've learned that he's made some really awful comments about Beyonce, probably strategically timed for Democrats to release that with her album coming out. And also Michelle Morrow, the education candidate, who has had even more extreme things, that where Donald Trump says a lot of extreme things, but they're more of a garden variety compared to what Mark Robinson has said and Michelle Morrow said. And Republicans I talked to in the state have told me there's a real concern that those candidates could hurt Donald Trump up ballot, not just down ballot issues that Republicans may have in some states. Democrats do have a very real Senate problem, and that's the real crapshoot, Katie, that the Senate is. Every 2 years, it's depending on what senators are up for re-election. It's not like the House where they all are every 2 years.
Doug Heye, really good to have you. Thank you very much.
Hey, everyone. MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right corner. You type in MSNBC. You click on the MSNBC app. You click on Get or the cloud icon and enjoy it.